Edition.
It's one of the biggest birthday parties ever planned, and you are invited. Good afternoon. At 4:30, the county's second largest city, Chula Vista, is celebrating a very special anniversary, and it's one in which the state's official tall ship, the Californian, plays a big part. Jack White is on the Californian right now, so let's get this celebration started.
Marty, I'm up in the forward section of the ship right now, and these people over here, most of them landlubbers, a couple of mayors, one from Coronado, one from Chula Vista, have just been pulling the main sail up here on the Californian. Here's another group over here. You can hear the chant going.
1, 2, 3.
They're heaving, and they're putting the sail up to get us down to Chula Vista. We have just pulled out from the Southwestern Yacht Club in San Diego. We're on our way down to Chula Vista. That's going to be the new home port for the Californian. By April, they will have a new berthing area, and it will be especially for the Californian. County Supervisor Bill Bray was on the lines here helping to put the mainsail up. This has been an exciting time, and of course they have a big weekend of excitement planned down in the South Bay as the 75th anniversary of Chula Vista gets underway. And of course this is the sort of the curtain raiser event. This is the event that takes us down there. This is a look at the Californian from a little aerial view of it, as a matter of fact, as we pull along San Diego Bay here from Sky 10, giving you a breathtaking look of the beauty of the sails and what have you as we sail up San Diego Bay. It hasn't always looked this way. As you know, the Californian was built in San Diego, and we have a little videotape showing her as she was under construction down along Spanish Landing some years ago. And there she is in the water shortly after being launched. A beautiful ship. This ship has made 2 visits to Hawaii, and right now on board are 11 cadets from various high schools throughout Southern California. Now, 2 of them are from Chula Vista. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, we were up in the North County, up in Oceanside, and we talked to a couple of students from Oceanside who had been on board this vessel and were part of the student cadet program. This has been an exciting time. Not all of the cadets are male. There are a couple of young ladies right here in front of us, one of them, in fact, working with the lines and getting them tied up. Several of the students have told us that they want to go to Annapolis. Well, we're going to be checking in with Leonard Villarreal, who is standing by in the South Bay, and he's going to give us a progress report on this big 75th anniversary that's going on down there. Leonard, how's everything?
Jack, it is incredible. This is only the beginning of 2 full days of celebration, and again, it is all part of Chula Vista's 75th birthday party celebration. On this very day, 75 years ago, the city of Chula Vista was incorporated. Now, at that time, the city only had about 500 residents. The city now claims 116,000 residents. But as you'll see, that is only the beginning of the story. Chula Vista. It is Spanish for pretty view. And that's what the first settler gazed upon as this area of the South Bay was being developed. The Chula Vista National City area was once known as Rancho del Rey, the Ranch of Kings, then as Rancho de la Nacion when Mexico won its independence from Spain. Colonel William Dickinson and Frank Kimball forever changed the once sage-covered territory. In 1868, the Kimball family hired Colonel Dickinson to create a new town.
The area was sagebrush and rattlesnakes and dust and a lot of fleas. One of the things we hear most often are the complaint were the fleas, because you can imagine with no water, you're talking about a lot of dust, and you're talking about desert, and there were a lot of fleas. So basically the dam had to be built. That brought in the water. From there, then they started their major advertising campaigns for the Easterners, and then they needed the railroad to bring those people to town. When the railroad brought the people, then they need a place to stay. So the first thought then is we need a wonderful, beautiful hotel, which they built.
In 1885, 50 families decided it was time for a schoolhouse. This is how the F Street School looked in 1910. And here's a little-known fact. In 1911, the same year of incorporation, the U.S. Army gathered in the streets of Chula Vista for what was to be known as the Battle of Tijuana. It never happened, but the residents then feared a revolution in Mexico would threaten this growing California community. In the early days, it took a massive advertising campaign to attract people to the area. At one point, they almost gave away rail trips. What did they offer?
A trip from Kansas City to through San Diego for $1. And that was a round trip for $1 on the train. So that got a lot of people out here.
And that marked the beginning of the end of the precious California secret. Jack, coming up later on in our 10 News block, we'll have some information about the festivities for the 75th birthday parties. It'll be 2 full days of fun and flash. How is it out there on the California?
Well, we're headed right down your way, and you just keep things hopping for us, because we'll be there on the Californian shortly. The mainsail is about to swing over my head. I'm standing here by the wheel as our navigator and captain sends us right down the bay to Chula Vista. We'll see you in a short time, and we'll be reporting back live. I'm Jack White on the Californian on San Diego Bay.
Now, Jack, what happens when you arrive?
They're going to have a great ceremony. As I told you earlier, this is kind of the curtain raiser for the big weekend that is just ahead, that Leonard's going to have a little more information on later in the 5 o'clock edition of 10 News.
We'll be hearing from you then later in the
All right.
afternoon. Thank you, Jack.
But the Californian here, under full sail, on its way to Chula Vista as the curtain raiser for the 75th birthday anniversary party. And that's a look at it right here on San Diego Bay.